Chef Frantzen's 3 Michelin-starred Stockholm-based restaurant represents the pinnacle of modern fine dining in 2023.
We are very excited to check this out. I'm Adrian.
And I'm Layla. This is S3. Start the experience, you're greeted into the main entrance where they have all of their dry aging out for display, and then you get a beautiful dialogue and presentation of what each meat is for and what part of the meal it's going to come into. And then a sliding door opens to walk you down this beautiful hallway to lead you up to the elevator where you come into the top of the building. There's 3 floors. Here at the very top is where the little starters happen. You have a cocktail, you have something to drink, and then they bring you down into the main dining room to enjoy the rest of dinner. But we're here upstairs, very bright. There's some natural light coming in from the sunlight. We're in front of a fire. It's a nice casual setting, but still very, very well decorated with a lot of little details and knickknacks.
Start off tonight here with a pâte de choux. We fill it with a warm cheese cream, also with some preserved truffle.
Truffle potato inside and a hard crispy shell on the outside. It's nice.
Carrying on, we have a crustade, poached langoustine claw, cooked in some beer. On top we have some pickled mustard seeds and there's some rutabaga as well that we can press with some dill.
Just like a perfect dill and shrimp smorgasbord sandwich in a cup. Very fresh, wonderful.
It's quite light and mild for me.
Savoury macaron. So the macaron itself is based off of some roasted coconut and lemongrass. Filled them with some whipped foie gras, kumquat and lemon verbena.
Never had foie gras and kumquat. There's a crispy crunch kind of flake on top of it, which just adds another dimension of flavor and texture. It's really nice.
That bite did start a little bit more on the acidic side, and then it just starts to play into being a foie gras, so it's smooth and creamy, so I think all the citrus comes out first.
This is a collaboration that we make together with Le Graha, a very good friend of us at the restaurant as well. 2017, very elegant, crisp, fresh in the style.
Showbox. Oh my goodness. So as you can see, some pretty amazing produce that's going to be on the menu this evening. Right, we'll carry on with some more food. We have a blini flavored with some pumpkin, and then we top it off with a sauce made from cured egg yolks and pickled jalapeno. Hiramasa over the top, finger lime, and then basil flowers as well. We have a classic, take on a Swedish classic, roraka, so a crispy potato cylinder filled with whipped creme fraiche, vendensrö from Calix, pickled red onion, and then some chive as well.
The main event.
You ready to fry, amigo?
Yeah.
You're getting close on 2 more layers, please. I would call Jerome, the winemaker, more a good friend of the restaurant than a business partner. And we do produce our own label with them. 2011, they are still keeping a few bottles for us, hidden away down in Champagne. But 2011 is a vintage that Jerome himself is very proud of. One of the very first that he was in charge of the bottling and the degorgement of. So it's one of Jerome's first vintages. A little bit of sake. It's tradition in our house. We like to pour sake, especially early on in the menu. It sort of fits with Björn's cooking. This is a Junmai Daiginyo, so a very elegant style of sake, focusing in on that fruitiness and sort of mild texture.
First course, we're serving ottoro. It's coming from Ibiza. It roughly has 80% fat in it. The fish has been seasoned with a yuzu kosho. We're here to see if there's enough caviar on the plate. He's always making sure we put enough. What Guillaume is adding is hanahao, so basically it's the flowering part of the shiso. Adding now is a vinaigrette, which is based on fermented strawberries. So basically it's 50-50, so we have fresh strawberry juice and fermented strawberry juice. Then finishing it off with an oil, which is based on bergamot.
I am so excited about this. All right, let's eat this and discuss. Aesthetics, 100. Creativity, 100. Presentation, 100. Right? Environment, 100. Pure, raw flavor.
Norwegian langoustine. So the claw you had in the crustade, and downstairs we're going to serve the tail.
The tail of the langoustine, underneath some puffed rice. Then we have an emulsion with some mandarin kosho and also ginger, just a little bit. Then we have a rose water to dip the fingers in.
It's a play on tempura. Tastes like a lobster tail tempura. Except here.
Langoustine focus with a very mild Asian influence. It's so good. It's delicate.
Our shaban mochi.
that we flavor with a lot of Parmesan cheese, so it's our own take on it. On top we have pork dashi. The pork actually going from the kitchen here for 100 days until we make it into a broth and top the shawamushi with it.
And this one we cure in soy and mirin for 10 days. Hot smoke it for around 6 to 8 hours and then age it from there.
We have some grilled peas as well, teardrop peas. We just put over the flame with some garlic as well. We finish off with some ramsons from Gotland as well as some onion flowers.
It makes me wonder why nobody's put 100-day aged pork into a chawamushi before. Because apparently it's the only thing to put in a chawamushi, with fresh peas from San Sebastian for garlic rams from Sweden.
Our monkfish that sits in a butter bath to cook. Beurre blanc, where the base is made out of fermented fennel. On top, our ikura, which is trout roe that we wash in lemongrass oil.
I think this is very bright, fragrant, almost lemony flavor in the background, and that's the lemongrass that they wash in the trout roe. This dish is perfection. Sauce is rich, intense, deep, and buttery. There's oil droplets inside that add this extra little cleansing to the palate, and then that fresh, acidic lemongrass takes this dish to a completely new level of pure execution and perfection.
Like most good dinners we've had, it literally just keeps getting better.
So this is our French toast. So we have a spelt sourdough on the bottom, then we topped it off with emulsion from sea urchin. On the grill, we have a piece of a Swedish eel. We have a Swedish beef, brushed it with some ponzu. After that we hang it, so we dry age for roughly 30 to 45 days.
I feel like there have been different iterations online of this.
I mean, the first one ever created was the one with Parmigiano and truffle, the most known one. The last few years we experimented with eel, charcuterie, we've done with pieces of uni on it, we've done it with caviar, we've done it with a take on the råraka that you had upstairs. Yeah, we've done it multiple different ways throughout the years.
Okay, let me introduce the onion soup, puree at the bottom, heavy caramelized, deglazed with balsamic vinegar, and a velouté, an almond foam. In the middle, whipped cream infused with licorice, touch of licorice powder, and at the end, roasted almond oil.
This smells insane. Piping hot, just like burnt onion, super condensed flavor of onion. There's hard, crispy nuts in the soup, which you would never think of. I don't know how they made them so crispy. They're in soup, but they're still crunchy and flavorful.
So the thigh we have confit in some duck fat, but then the breast we have cooked up at the fireplace, piece of seared foie gras, some lemon mixed together with some white miso. Some mustard leaves and oxalis flowers on top, and then finishing off with the pepper sauce with campo pepper and long pepper, some rendered out foie gras fat and brown butter.
Oh my goodness, that smells incredible.
Of course, together with the quail, have some bread and butter. So we have our homemade butter. So ferment the cream for 3 days, churn it into butter, and then we actually dress the butter here with the buttermilk, some lemon thyme, black pepper, and maple syrup.
Okay, we're gonna use his description, and we're just gonna use me eating it and enjoying it.
So the base is quail, perfectly cooked, just tender. The sauce is very light, almost tastes lemony, a lot of pepper running through it. And then the greens on top add this extra layer of just fresh and brightness to it. It almost is like a summer-like dish.
Alright guys, heading to the pre-dessert. We're gonna find sea buckthorn sorbet underneath. We also have a red curry that we made here. And on top of it, we're gonna have a carrot granita. We're gonna play with hot and cold. Hope you enjoy.
Thank you very much.
I've never had shaved ice and sorbet with curry before. And the curry itself is dramatically spicy, which is ballsy in a dessert, but it works. I love this.
In line with our like Lisbon random pre-dessert. In that flavor combinations we have never experienced together before. I give them a lot of points for creativity here. I think it's really cool and unique.
Okay, so I brought my lovely assistant. We're gonna work it together.
I'm just gonna watch.
We have a rhubarb dessert here, poached in rooibos clean strawberry. On the plate already we have the mousse on milk oolong tea. We also have underneath a praliné of cashew nuts. The sorbet is based on Turkish yogurt, consommé, which we poached the rhubarb in. We also have flavors of tagetes, and finalizing it with some zest from Meyer lemon.
We finished the main dinner, back upstairs for bits and bites, dessert, and the remainder of our wine and champagne, which we have not drank because we're lightweights. Apparently. Are we though, Layla? Are we though? It's back on the plane at 6:30 tomorrow morning to get back to Vienna for Styrac.
A few more candies just to get you through.
Few.
Just a few. Start off on the top. We have a pepper marshmallow with a brown cheese fudge and then some Arctic raspberries. Below that we have a Montellemar, so a nougat, topped off with some caramelized almonds, pistachio, Japanese chestnut and lingonberries. Below that we have a fermented garlic fudge, so we use black garlic and a little bit of licorice. And then a raspberry shell next to that with some chewy beetroots, violets and balsamic. Here we have a chocolate layer, so the golden one is caramelized walnut and set mushroom, and the blue and white one is a yuzu, white chocolate and blueberries with a layer of cookie dough. And then at the very bottom a pâte de fruits, so a jelly made with gooseberry juice and chamomile, and rolled in some lemon for bean.
We go on our freshly baked madness with miso and brown butter.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You want your roller coaster. Don't ask me about my freedom. Don't ask me about my wisdom. You want it, you need it, but why?
God damn.
God damn.